Today's video is sponsored by Patwari Kitchen and Snow Zone Car Wash. Do you feel being a woman, how has it helped you negatively and positively in this field?
Sometimes I get who's coming at me for work and then who isn't, so I just normally just dead it. People forget that you're not just working with one person. I've got like 15 other clients that are expecting things at this kind of the same time.
So what's next for you then? What's the 1709 for? Guys, welcome back to MK Creations Growth and Elevation Podcast, Season 1, Episode 5, with Ellie Howard, a video editor, a creative, a director, and a great businesswoman. So Ellie, how's things, man?
I'm good at you.
Yeah, so I want to get straight into it, like I said to you, with the topics. The first one is, do you feel being a woman has how has it helped you negatively and positively in this field?
I got asked this like the other week because I didn't have an interview, and literally my answer was it kind of shocked me a little bit, but then everyone was like, "Oh, mad." But basically, when I first got into the industry, I didn't really know that there was like a whole stigma around women in the industry. Like I just was doing it because I enjoyed it, so I never felt like the odd one out. So it's only as of like recently, the past 6 months, that I've started recognizing certain things and how, as I get older, certain people move with you, and I'm not so naive anymore as to certain things. But when I first got in the industry, I didn't feel like being a woman even made a difference. I was just doing what I enjoyed doing.
See, I'm not sure if there is a stigma. I just hear other women saying it across the field, so I thought it must come into this.
I think it depends what you're doing, but from my experience anyway, it hasn't really made an impact because I just enjoy what I do. So I didn't even recognize it was even a thing, really.
Got you. Alright, so the next one, when people DM you pretending like there's work and that,
Yeah.
right? But it's really raw just to flirt with you or try and get your number or whatever. What goes on after that? Like, I don't even know how to finish that question, you get me?
Do you know what? Sometimes I get who's coming at me for work and then who isn't. So I just normally just dead it if I feel like anything else is going on. But then if I end up meeting up with them and they're trying to intend something, again, I just set boundaries, really. I'm just like, we're here to work, like nothing else.
Okay, but what are the signs, like, when you first clock on, yo, nah, this might be something else, or...
When they ask to meet at their house would be one of them, not at my office. Like I'd ask people to come to my office and they'll be like, "Oh no, just come to mine," and I was like, "No." And then probably just like when I'm on set, like little remarks, like what I mean. I can't even say what they are, but just
You can't listen, how much swearing happens in my podcast, bro.
I can't.
People in the background swear as well.
But it's just little things that you just kind of pick up on over time, like just commenting about your looks or like, "Oh, you're pretty for a videographer" or something like that. Like I'm like, why does that need to be said?
That's true. Still, I don't think you get them ones. Okay, so when you have to go and meet someone for the first time, and all you know from them is literally right that whatever they portray themselves to be as social media. Like say someone that's an ultimate bad man rapper or whatever. I'm not saying I'm not saying their name, but my point is, what goes through your head now? You have to go see them.
Literally nothing. Like I just see them as like a client. So whatever they want, I just give them, no matter who they are, what they're doing. Like if they want a service, and that's what I'll give them. I don't really look into who they are or anything like that, really.
So that you're never nervous. You never think to yourself like, nah, you know what? This person just looks fucked up. It looks like them people you see on the news that like for mad kidnap charge or something. No.
Nah, not really. No.
Oh, you make me look like a barrow or something, no? Innit? Yeah. So say now you try and build a long-term relationship with your client base so it expands over time. You don't have to put yourself out there. People come to you. At what point do you think, okay, I'm just gonna be blunt and tell this guy not to work with me again or whatever?
So the question
Or even women, like, cause some are bitches, bro. I tell you, making us men look bad.
and some men.
Like, yeah, but both in it, like.
Nah, it's both. It is both. What do you mean by that though? Like, what are you trying to?
Look, let's just say if you and me, you edited a season of this
Mhm.
podcast,
Mhm.
you wouldn't want to say then, oh, okay, yeah, done it, I got my money, everything. I don't want to work with this person again. You
Oh,
want that
okay.
relationship to
To carry
be,
on.
or even if he feels that for whatever business related reasons,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be the editor again,
Mhm.
I still want him to recommend me. But at what point do you think to yourself, you know what, fuck it, I don't want anything to do with this geezer or their people?
Um, do you know what? When it does, it has got to that with a few people,
Mm.
but you just have to kind of play the game a little bit and just be nice and just say, look, it was nice working with you, but going forward, I just can't anymore because I've got other things going on. So you don't really make it about that person. You just make it about your situation, just to kind of ease the water a little bit, just so you get
That's
recommended.
peak.
Yeah.
No, but then wouldn't you not want those people too? Like, look, let's just say you and me fell out. You wouldn't want
Mm.
someone I recommended because you're
It.
gonna base them off of me. Because if I get along with
That's
them,
true.
you don't get along with me. So I'll be like, just
It
two
depends
peas
though,
in a pod.
because it's like no one else knows what actually went on but the two people that it happened with. So if
Mm.
someone else is coming from the outsider point of view, they're not. Shouldn't really affect that situation or relationship.
Yeah, but let's just say the person you're working with, person A,
Mm.
is rubbish. He brings to you person B,
Yeah.
right? He has to feel confident
Mhm.
in his relationship with that person to bring them to you. But if
Mhm.
he's rubbish as a person, his judgment in people is gonna be
Gonna be
rubbish.
bad as well.
So wouldn't it be
Yeah.
like, nah, forget you, forget your people, forget all of it, man. I'm good.
Honestly, it depends. It depends what actually happened. So say I've shot a music video and they
Mm.
didn't like the edit, and they were like, okay, we don't want to put that music video out, but we like the way you shot, and they recommended me to one of their friends to edit and shoot a video. I'd definitely work with them even though they didn't put that other video out and there was a thing between me and that person. But then if something actually went on and there was a whole like argument around that person, then I probably wouldn't want to be associated with them too closely. But it just depends on what actually happened.
Okay, fair enough. Each situation to its own. Eh?
Mhm.
Maybe in part two, I'll find a situation for you to give your
Maybe come up
opinion
with
on.
one.
You get me? Yeah. All right. So the next thing would be, you know, when you have to sit there and think to yourself, right? I have to keep it professional, but I really just want to slap this geezer or just tell him fuck off, or same with the woman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
How do you calm yourself down? How do you then approach the situation?
With kindness. Like you just smile, just be happy, just let them just think that they're winning, and then just smile and just sit there.
I know how you say just smile, like you're the first person I met that says that.
Because I'm not trying to bring up. I don't like arguments or anything like that. So if someone's annoyed me, I'd rather just sort it out with myself rather than with them, because it doesn't need to be sorted like that.
Okay, but do you feel that the cost of being professional for the sake of your brand and everything
Mhm.
is sometimes more than it's worth, like the toll of it?
I'd say sometimes I would say that. Like I'd say there's times where, because people forget that you're not just working with one person. I've got like 15 other clients that are expecting things at this kind of the same time. So then I've got like like 10 people hitting me up, and it's you want to please everyone, so it can get overwhelming sometimes. But again, it's just time management. That's what it comes down to. But it does get sometimes overwhelming.
Are there any other signs? This is going back to the other one, right?
Mhm.
Where you did, someone told me, I'm gonna repeat their words, right? How do you realize if this genuine or if they're just a fuck boy on benefits? That's what I was told, anyway, right? I'm not gonna say if I agree with it, but so yeah, the signs are like full, and then how do you deal? Like I know you said in the past that you just dead it and just get
Mhm.
rid of them.
Mhm.
But then I've noticed that there's some women, right, or even some men would just air and only respond to the occasional positive message that they'll give, because for some reason
Mhm.
they'll keep trying to test the water. As soon as you respond or
Yeah. Yeah.
like a message, they'll try something else later. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So what's your approach? Because you can't just block everybody. You won't get no work.
No, either ignore them, or I just ignore them. Honestly,
So
I
it's
can't. I don't have another answer.
alright. So it's safe to say videographers see all their DMs. They just
Yeah.
choose which one they reply to in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Peaks the peak. What's your set rules, or how do you go about pricing a job? Because every job's different.
Yeah. Normally it depends on the client and what they're wanting. But say my base rate at the moment is shooting and editing for no less than 150, because that's paying for like my travel time, my actual shooting time, then my editing time, which is like rendering, export, storage. So that's the basis, but then it depends on if I need to hire in any lighting. That's an added extra cost. Studio hire. It literally depends on what the music video is. But I've got 3 package deals that I kind of stick to with music videos. So the first music video is like $399. So that's like 4 hours of 2 locations, 4 hours, and like masking effects and all that kind of stuff. And it just goes up by what they're wanting.
Oh, fair enough. But is it like what, £2 a mile or something when you have to go to like another city or somewhere, or how do you work it?
Just like travel, like so ticket costs. So say I have to go from here to London, it's £20. They just pay that £20 back to me. So just reimbursing.
I don't know what £20 you got to go London in it, but
The slow train.
Megabus, bro. That's Megabus thing. Yeah, but it takes more in fuel, bro. All right. So that's the thing with pricing. Then when do you sit down and think to yourself, okay, when do I reinvest? When do I take a profit? How do I balance my timing and resources?
The first like year I was working on like a little Canon. Literally well, that's a Sony, but like just it was like that kind of small, but like a Canon version.
Yeah, bring down the production and the first guest to do that, man.
They're sick, but like I was literally working on that like the whole time. So I was working on music videos with just literally one camera, trying to light everything myself, and it was like 1080p quality, and I was trying to film like these like really sick music videos that just looked crap. But then after
Shots
a while,
fired, I swear this is 1080p. I forgot to hit 4K on it. Shots fired, bro. Shots fired.
but this is calm. But no, like because of the stuff that I was getting involved in, it just was required a bigger like production. And I literally just ended up saving up for the past, not last year, the year before that. I saved it for a whole year, and then I invested in like Blackmagic, a new laptop.
Is that the 8K camera one?
4K, and there's a 6K as well, but I got the 4K one. Like it's a little pocket camera.
Yeah.
So I invested in that.
Oh, so it ain't bigger than these, isn't it?
It is. It's like that.
This fits in my pocket, guys.
But no, I invested into that, and I've literally, as of December this year or last year, I made that money back for the investments, which is like, it's really good now.
But is it like a case of, okay, look, I've cleared, say, $5,000 this month. I'm gonna put $1,000 for myself, $1,000 for my business, one for saving, one for investing, one for whatever. Or is it like no thing? Do you just go all in to save, to level up to the next piece of equipment? What's your approach?
Yeah, so every payment that I get, 20% of that goes into my savings account. And I haven't touched that in like 6 months now. So I'm waiting to just invest in some new equipment next year. But then the rest of the money literally just goes on my office space, because I pay for that. Studio, food, travel, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But why a office space though? Like in our studio, like why office?
Editing, like, because I'd rather have like because normally most of my time is through edits, because I get commissioned edits through. So rather than just sitting at home in my bed editing, it's just a lot more productive for me to be at an office space. And it's networking as well. I've met like some really cool people there, so.
Are you sure they're not the same as those people in your DMs, is it?
No,
just a different approach because it's in person. They got less confidence.
Do you know what? Some of them do move a bit mad, yeah, I can't lie.
It's a calm one you gotta watch out for, but
I know.
The mad one, at least you know he's mad at it. The other one, bro, he's the Ted Bundy, and you get me.
The Ted Bundy.
Or the Charles Manson or the whatever, innit, but yeah. So, in terms of networking, before I get to networking, you know, for any videographer, both female, male, or fluid, what advice would you give them from starting off? Is it better just to go off of your phone and the bare minimal, or do you think, no, I have to invest a certain amount into a production?
I think have like a creative idea and then just go off that. You can film anything with your phone. Like if you just have, you can literally create a short music video with your friends, like on that, and just put it on Instagram, and it would it does work. Like, I don't think it matters about quality. It's more like the concept of it. So if you've got a concept in your head, it doesn't really matter what camera you've got until build up to that camera. Like, you don't need to start off with it.
Cool build up, but how long do you think before you look? You could have the money in a week.
If
Do
you've
you
got the
save
money,
it or do you just throw it all in?
if you got the money, then I'd go all in. Like, just have, so you've got it there. It's an investment rather than, you don't want to wait, keep on hiring out equipment, and you're just losing more money.
But if you're still in profit, like I'll get your point. Your profit yield would be higher without you increasing your prices.
Yeah.
But then saying that, you know how much it is to store all this, get this all up and so.
Yeah.
Once I forgot to hit record on that one, you know. I wanted a serious podcast and they just
Stop
turned to
it.
banter. Nah, ask him at it. I forgot to click record on one of them. But the geezer just started taking the guest started putting it on me, bro. Nah, big up Darren is blessed. But do you see my point? Just carrying all this stuff,
It
man. I feel like I'm climbing a mountain or something right now.
My back is like, ugh. Yeah, no, I hear you. It is. If I had the money at the start, I would have just went all out. But I'm kind of glad it happened the way it did, and I invested after like 6 months and 6 months, because you just get to learn new stuff.
Yeah, I fucked up then, innit?
No, you didn't, because you brought it all, and you're doing it like you're doing it. So if you had all the equipment and we was just sitting there, like, but you had an idea, and that's why you brought the equipment. But if you just get the equipment with no idea, then there's no point. Like, you're wasting money.
I get that. All right. So you know when it comes to networking, what are your tips? Like, because you have to pick and choose who you want in your network now. Because the ability with social media, it allows you to potentially get to anybody, no matter where they are or what they're doing. So you're gonna pick and choose, because you might be with person A. Person A might not like person B, but they won't want you neutral. So you have to pick and choose. What's your approach to networking?
Normally it's just showing your face, and then whoever approaches you, you kind of scope out the room. Like, I've been to enough networking events to kind of know some faces, so I just kind of scope out the room and then see who looks nice. Or people normally approach you though, so you kind of scope them out from that.
No, I think that's just because it's you know.
Maybe. Do you not get approached? Like,
I don't go to events because, like, look,
don't?
social media, I don't have to go through any. I can just phone someone to phone someone to. It'll become a domino effect, but the domino will come back to me.
I mean,
No, seriously, think about who you want to get in contact with. It'll be a human. That human's gonna know another human. Eventually, you'll find the chain, and you just have to decide when to go there. Or take, for example, a great Instagram blog page is Made You Think, right? The amount of people that I want to work with is loads. The majority of them follow that page. So if I pay for him to the AP guy to advertise my thing on there for promo, I'm potentially getting seen by the people I want. So it's drawing them to me. It saves me the whole thing. I'm going to a network event and then hoping that those particular people are there, or that I get along with them. Because what I've noticed is, you know, when you meet people through social media, you meet the better version of them most of the time. If you meet them in person, you might know all this jal. It might be the littlest thing, but then your first impression's ruined. You know what I mean? But for social media, everyone creates a version of themselves. You look at it, then you know how to approach them. So your first impression's always good.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. I'd actually say that normally at networking events, when I first started going, I didn't recognize anyone, so it was more like me just going, oh, hi, I'm Ellie Howard, I do this, I do that. But now, social media is like where I normally like realize who I want to work with and kind of contact them through that. And then normally I won't just work off the basis of that social media thing. I'd be like, do you want to jump on a Zoom call and face to face over the call if they can't meet in person? But I'd never work with someone that I haven't met before anyway. But
yeah, maybe before your watch pulled up.
This isn't work though. Like, I mean, like video work. Like, if I was going to shoot a video, I wouldn't work with an artist really unless I know, you know, them kind of.
Is that because you feel you're nervous? Is that why you don't feel no type of way when you're going to meet them? Because you already had that experience in like the safe zone.
Yeah, like I need to realize I need to know who they are. They need to know who I am before I actually like go and start directing them, because you don't know how people take instruction, or like you don't know who they are. So when I first meet them, they just get a scope of like what I do, and then we kind of just we don't vibe together, then we won't shoot. But that never really happens. Like, it normally is calm after the first time we meet.
Fair enough. So I know you're busy, so I'm gonna cut this one short. I know you're looking at your wrist like, is
No,
that a
no,
watch
no,
on
no,
there?
no. It keeps
Uh,
on falling off and like
no, I'm
dangling.
about
So
to
I
say
don't know
if
if it's
that's a
gonna like.
watch on it, like,
No, it's not a watch. Like I don't know if the like dangle's gonna like be in the mic, so I keep on like.
well, I don't think these mics are that good, you know. After what you say about the cameras, I probably fucked up on them too, doing
Nah,
it.
no,
You get me?
even they're sick. They're sick cameras. I take it back.
Nah, it's banter, man. I'm not feeling no type of way. It's actually blessed. So when it comes to now you introducing people, you know, and then they don't end up being, well, they don't end up representing you in the right way.
Mm.
How do you deal with all that?
It literally recently just happened. Um,
Cha-ching.
so it's a great question. It actually happened. I recommended my friend two people, and both of them like fucked her over. So then it put me in like a really weird position because she was like, "Why have you like introduced me to these people that are just not about their work?" But I've never really worked with them that close. I've just heard different things, and when I did work with them, they were fine. So obviously it makes you feel a bit like crap because that's representing you. But at the same time, if she doesn't really feel away because she knows who I am, so I wouldn't recommend anyone that I thought was going to do a bad job. It was just unfortunate that they did.
No, I get that, but look, sometimes you could say now your best friend's going into this videography thing, right? And you see like a sister or a brother or whatever, right? And you're gonna say, I want for them what I want for myself. I'm gonna do for them as I do for myself, which is the right thing to do, right? But then they fuck it up for you. Now, how you have to cut? You know what I mean? You don't want them to have that problem or feel like the friendship ain't there, because a lot of them will have a sense of entitlement.
That is true. It's true. I feel like in them situations, you just have to just be the bigger people and just cut it, like cut the ties and be like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. That's what you can do. Because otherwise, it's going to be unnecessary drama.
But then don't you feel like you're leaving it unresolved? You're just like, you know, putting a, you're just closing the door to
And
the
then just leave it.
situation. So
Yeah.
it's just festering. So when you have to open it again, like say at a function, at a gathering, or you don't know what they're doing behind your back, they could be in their feelings, so they might be talking a lot of rubbish. So it's hindering you, but you don't see it.
How I see it though, is I just let whatever people think of me is how they think because they don't know what I'm actually doing. So however they're talking about me to other people, I know how I'm actually moving. So people can think about it. It's not going to hinder me if we've had an argument. It just means that we didn't align in that certain moment. That's really all.
I kind of hear what you're saying, but alright, take this now. Let's just say I saw your work you're doing for Sin Lounge. So imagine now I contact them and they're not happy with it. I wouldn't have asked you to come to this podcast. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm saying the way that you deal with people there and then, or the way you resolve something, you go out and do it immediately. So you might not care, but look, it's hindered you and you never knew about it.
Oh well. On to the next thing.
What you don't know about that.
Exactly.
I don't know, like, where's a good example now? Oh, you know that 50 Cent and Irv Gotti thing, right? Irv Gotti said record labels kept phoning him, and so and he said, don't sign 50 or I'm not working with you, so on and so on. That caused 50 to go to Dre and Eminem. A different label could have got him. You wouldn't have had the big debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, all that marketing power and everything, that new fan base. He wouldn't have had.
Yeah, if that didn't happen.
But do you see what I mean? Now, he just got lucky. But if that was the other way around and he couldn't get no deal at all, but that problem wasn't there, he would have got the deal and everything. You know what I mean? He probably wouldn't have had as many problems as he had.
That is true. That's true. I suppose it just depends on who the person is and what the situation is as well.
So what's next for you then?
Literally waiting for like festivals and shows to open again so I can just go and film on tour and all that kind of stuff. But right now I'm just working on music videos and just learning a new editing software for my visuals. So yeah.
And I'm guessing researching into new equipment and that, because it's all ever-changing field. Alright, so you know, for the people watching, right, what's the best way for them to stay in contact, to get in contact with you and to keep up to date with the latest from you?
Yeah, my Instagram has all my like work on it, all my portfolio. So it's Ellie and then Howard, but the O is an X.
Okay.
Basically.
So just Instagram, then, right?
Yeah, just Instagram. My website's being built at the moment, so
Yeah.
that's all in construction.
Yeah. What's the craziest job you've ever done?
In what way? Like the most like fun or like the
In what way?
wildest?
Both. The most
Both?
fun and the most unfun.
Oh wait. Well, both.
Okay. The most fun, I'd say, when I get to travel and do it. So probably Loud in the Reef was hard. I'm not just saying that because you're there. I know you asked that because I'm saying.
No,
But-
I didn't ask you for that. No.
I'd say that, or I got the opportunity to go to Jamaica and like film the culture, how music culture is in Jamaica and how it works. I was there for a week and it was like the best experience ever. So they were probably my two favorite like fun things. And then like the weirdest thing, not weirdest, but when I first got into photography and videography, my first job was with Ann Summers, and I just turned like 17. So like I got introduced to all this like bit of a madness. So then that.
What do you see what you say?
So I was directing stuff, but I had no idea what the hell I was doing. It was wild.
But do you think, see, you being a woman got you to Ann Summers one day? If you were a man, you
Yeah,
wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't have got that, no, because it was a whole like women empowerment thing anyway.
I get that, but you know, the only thing I got with all these movements that everyone comes out with, it's more of a hindrance to forget the main thing.
I hear that, like they
No,
forget
there's
like
not-
the actual like purpose behind it.
No, it's not like, is she actually any good at the job? No, she's a woman. Like, we got 3 blokes and a woman. We're picking the woman. Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
now we got to redo it.
No, I do hear that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think there's one of the main factors that they decide upon should be the reason of whatever the
Of their
cause
skill.
is.
Mm.
But the majority has to come from their competence to actually do it, because otherwise,
It's not gonna get done, and
yeah, you just
Yeah.
will leave a sour taste of that person in someone's mouth.
yeah,
But they don't want to lose this massive opportunity that they only got due to
being who they actually are.
not even that, just politics, isn't it?
I suppose, yeah. I suppose, but again, it comes down to your skill. If you don't have the skill, then I don't know why someone would pick you over someone else.
A lot of people do to fit a criteria. Look like they
Yeah,
ask
your
your
actual
race, your
workplace, yeah.
ethnicity, and
Yeah.
everything else, because they want to fit a diversity quota.
Yeah, it's a tick box. Yeah.
So you're kind of killing the actual desire for people to want to be good at their craft, to master their craft, versus, oh, you know what? Nah, I got like, oh, take this podcast. You're the first woman to come on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane. Who have you had on before?
Okay, so the first episode, right, was with John Gillies. He trains UFC fighters, Bellator,
sick.
Cage Warriors, Glory, kickboxing, one championship for the Muay Thai and MMA side of it. Now, that I went to Merseyside, Liverpool, his gym, 4 corners. Big up John Gillies, sound guy, man, proper person. The second one was with Darren G. Right. Third one was with Cam from the Lime Tree Clinic, who does cupping for the likes of Paul Pogba, Anthony Joshua, and so on. So he's sports therapy, and he's got a lot of work with Manchester's football scene in it.
Yeah.
So that was with him. The fourth one was with the influencer from Birmingham called Naveed Central. Now the fifth one is you. You get me? So I got one more for this season, and I'm hoping I can get another one that no one's gonna know which one I'm gonna get next.
Okay.
Do you know
That's
what I
it
mean?
then. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie. Everyone's telling me get a girl on, get a girl on, get a girl. You see what I'm saying? Now I wanted to, but I was
But you
looking.
just didn't know.
No, I wanted something where the substance is not like, yes, two something, you know, and I'm not trying to fill the sentence. I'm doing it with like, yeah, there's actually stuff I want to ask.
Yeah. Like the
So-
back and forth.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? So the conversation flows and people can take from it, because the whole
Yeah.
thing's called growth and elevation. If no one can grow or elevate from this episode, then I don't see the point in me investing in it. Do you know what I mean? So I do get why people do it to a degree. I want to do the finale with the woman, right?
Yeah.
But now, like, I was getting a bit of pressure, so it came to episode 5.
Oh well, here we go. We're here now.
But do you see what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
the only thing I don't like about these movements that everyone comes out with. It kind of messes up certain things.
It does, because it makes the way you move not as pure as you initially thought it was, because people just start putting things in your head and then you start questioning like what you're actually doing.
Yeah,
But-
that's another reason I don't want to give people questions ahead of time, because everyone will influence their answer, but them.
Yeah. Didn't you send the questions to me? Then I swear you deleted them.
Nah, they're still there. Go on your
Oh, are
Insta.
they?
Go on your Insta.
I tried to look and I couldn't find them. I
Scroll
was
up.
like, oh. Hold up.
You know, I try to bait me out for something I didn't even do.
Tell a lie. Oh no, they're not. I don't have them.
Nah, I'll draw it up.
No, I remember you sending them. I
Nah. Oh, no, I'll show you. Right, try to bait me out and shit. Like, my mom's will be pissed now, innit? It's literally the start.
Oh.
Literally? Oh, which one? Oh, fuck's sake, bro. See, this is what I want. Camera person here as well, bro.
You need to turn down the aperture.
You're saying all this fancy language I don't understand, you get me? They're just going to have to suffer. Look, it's literally the first two things I sent, you get me? Right?
That's so weird. It's not on mine.
So, you deleted it, didn't it?
I don't know what's happened to it.
Yeah, blame Instagram, innit? You didn't do that for me. Oh, you're just making me... You're all just making me look booky all of a sudden, innit? Yeah, safe. No, but seriously, because look, if you send someone a question, right, whoever's around them at the time will influence them,
Yeah.
whether they say anything or not, because you go off, your energy mixes with everyone else's energy, you know what I mean? So I always like to just do bang at that day, at that time, whatever occurs, but yeah, so but wrap it up. Thanks for coming on, and
Thank
just
you.
one more time, how can everyone get in contact with you for only work related purposes? Because obviously
Just
after them
work
first
related.
questions, innit? Right. I'll
Just
put
work
that in.
related. Instagram, so it's Ellie Howard, but then the O is an X.
Right, yeah.
We made it at 15 years old, so we thought that was a good idea for some reason.
Wait, also, oh shit, I forgot. What's the 1709 for?
Do you want the long answer or like the
Long, because like, I'm sure Shamira can fix all this fuckery in the edit.
perfect?
I hope so, innit?
No, so 1709, it represents kind of a time in my life where I was a bit down, didn't know what to do. So at the age of 17, I was at school, but I just wasn't really fitting in, quote unquote. And I was failing all my grades, all that kind of sub story. And then on the 9th of April, I literally just like woke up one day and we just started reading. I became like quite spiritual. Not overnight, but then I just put them 1709 together as like a good and bad contrast. And it's on like a maths book because I'm not very good. I failed all my maths exams. So I just kind of put it as like a contrast to like what I can do and then what held me back before, if that makes sense.
I get that, but you know what? Most of the stuff you learn in school, you don't even use, bro.
No,
To
you
this
don't.
day, I don't know what algebra is for. I've
no
never. I had to start putting in something just so I don't feel stupid, right? But no, I had to learn. I had to swap numbers and letters and all this extra Pythagoras crap in it, just to never use it. It was rubbish.
You don't. You actually never use it.
It's peak though. But yeah, all right. The proper wrap up now, innit, right? Ellie Howard on Instagram. Best way to contact her. Only work related purposes for her video editing work, innit, right? Everything else is just gonna get blanked. Anything you want to say, or you good?
I'm good. Thank you.
No, you're.